So Donald Trump vowed 90 deals in 90 days and is with the case pretty much every time he talks, he turned out to be lying.
We have, as of right now, technically no deals. I know some in the media say, well, he has the one deal with the United Kingdom. That's not an actual deal. What it is, according to the UK themselves, it's an agreement to really work on a framework that eventually will be turned into a possible trade deal. So it's only an agreement that, all right, we'll talk to you. It's not a trade deal. Same thing as he has with China. They said, okay, we'll talk. And India says, okay, we'll talk. But there are no trade deals to speak of. And it does drive me crazy when I see the media say he's only got one. He doesn't have a real one yet. There is nothing signed, nothing done, nothing set. He has nothing. He is not the great negotiator that he has been telling us for decades that he is. He has failed across the board, basically.
Well, and not only has he failed, but across the board, we're seeing this. The dollar has the weakest start of a year since Nixon took us off the gold standard. Let that sink in. The lowest start, so the dollar is down 10.8%. Over the year, which is the worst start since Nixon took us off the gold standard. We also have him pushing back this date that he had. It was supposed to be, I think, July 9th. Now his people have pushed it back to August 1st. And this is why people have started calling him Taco. You know, Trump always chickens out. This is just another example of that because it would be calamity for the economy. I mean, we've sort of learned to operate in this nebulous space where this man can do anything in any given day, but at the last minute, he generally flinches.
You know, speaking of the dollar being at its lowest level, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent on Monday morning went on CNBC, and he was asked about that. You know, hey, things are looking bad, and he says, no. That's natural fluctuation. You know, so currencies rise and fall. That's not a big deal. He said, well, I mean, the speed with which it happened, that's a little odd. But other than that, it's totally fine. This administration is the epitome of, the Naked Gun movie where the fireworks factory is blowing up behind him and he says, nothing to see here, all is fine. That's what this is. These people go on television every day. They tell us, oh, Trump's talking to, what was the last number, 220 different countries? People are calling him left and right. Everybody wants to make a deal. The dollar is just naturally declining because that's what it was supposed to do. Nope, the economy's great. Everything they say is an absolute lie. Every economic talking point, whether it's tariffs, whether it's the impact of immigration, dollar, looming recession, employment, it's all lies from this administration. And it's obvious lies. They're not even trying anymore. They just don't care. That's where we're at. They don't care.
Well, I don't know if you remember, but during the Iraqi war, Baghdad Bob, he was their political arm, would get on TV and he said the American tanks are not in Baghdad. And you can kind of see them in the background. He's reporting from this bunker. You can see the American tanks behind him. They're talking about how great everything's going. It is collapsing around us. I mean, all of these metrics, employment, you did the episode the other day regarding the Fox News host who was all excited that there was going to be this gain in employment. And then in real time, we see her realize not only has there not been a gain, there's been a retraction of over 30,000 jobs. It's calamity.
Maria Bartiromo, she died a little inside when she had to do that, which, I mean, that's what happens when you're a propagandist. When you hit that point when reality smacks you in the face on live TV, there's not much you can do. And that is what this administration has been doing from day one. And I think with each time it happens, you get a little less and less of the public willing to buy into it. You still have some of the hardliners that say, nope, this trade war is absolutely going to help us, even though I actually see that it's hurting my own business. But I know why he's doing it, and I'll stick it out if I can. Otherwise, I think I'm going to go out of business. But some of them are waking up and they're realizing this guy doesn't have the answers. He's not doing this for any specific purpose. This is just happening because he likes tariffs. He likes the chaos because it distracts everybody from everything else going on that we do need to be paying attention to.
When he doesn't have an understanding of tariffs, he again said on live TV that the other countries are paying these tariffs. That is not how tariffs work. The consumer pays those tariffs. The people buying the product in this country are paying that tariff. Maersk put out the international shipping conglomerate put out a statement the other day that recently they're paying 20 to 24% on average per pound of import tariffs, which is not in line with what Trump says they're paying, but that means that everything that came on that ship, everything that came is 20% higher than it should have been. That this is an artificial number that he has put on the consumers, and the people who suffer most are a lot of them are in his base.
Yeah, they are. And a lot of the jobs that are being lost due to this are within his base. Texas specifically has been hit so far the hardest with the tariffs because of all of the business that they do with Mexico. It's in the hundreds of billions of dollars each year. So they are paying more, hurting the citizens of Texas even more than they're being hurt by the natural disasters. And again, there's a good indication that those natural disasters due to the cuts made from DOGE. So all around, a lot of this pain this administration is inflicting is directed at their own folks. The big, beautiful bill, the cuts to Medicaid, astronomically more painful for red states than it is for blue states. And the point is, they don't care. Yeah, I mean, this is just part of their plan. The cruelty, as you've said, is the point with everything this administration does.
I'm still shocked, and we see in the headlines some Trump supporter is upset. They want to take their vote back because they lost their job, or they're pleading to him to save them, or he's deported their spouse. You knew what he was going to do. He was very vocal. That was one thing he was honest about, is he told us he was going to destroy things. And they voted for him enthusiastically. And I don't understand how they can be surprised that we're here. And unfortunately, my prediction, for what it's worth, is it's going to get a lot worse.
Yeah, even Joe Rogan with the immigration raids has said multiple times recently, like, we didn't know it was going to be this. Why? He told you he was going to do this. I mean, he was honest. He was honest about doing tariffs. He was honest about mass immigration, the raids, all of it. He told you all the truth. You just didn't want to believe it. Or you thought, well, he's going to do these things, but it's only going to impact the left. We've seen that with some of the people fired from the federal government. They have actually literally said that. They said, I lost my job, but I'm a Trump supporter. I thought he was only firing the Democrats. I mean, that is an exact quote that I've read on the air from one of these women that was fired from her government job. I thought he was only going to get the Democrats out. Well, eventually he runs out of Democrats to punish, and he'll come after you too.